Welcome to the Boomer Briefing Podcast, where we help you solve a critical business issue in 20 minutes or less. I'm your host, Jon Hubbard, shareholder and chief growth officer here at Boomer Consulting. And for our episode today, I'm excited to speak with you about top 10 high-performance HR practices. Now, for those that are part of our talent circle and listening to this, our talent circle is a peer group for HR leaders and talent leaders within accounting firms. You will kind of recognize the name I'm getting ready to mention, and that is Josh Bersin. We have had speakers from the Josh Bersin Academy over the years speak at various events. And I was recently reading an article on the top 10 kind of high performance HR practices that him and his team have been researching. And this is not just for the accounting profession. This is just globally. But I wanted to take a unique look at through the lens of our profession as it relates to these trends. And so I kind of want to run through them with you and maybe touch briefly on each of them of how they're relevant or impacting the accounting profession. All right. And so these trends came from a lot of research that him and his team have been doing, but I really think they're relevant for the most part to the accounting profession here. All right. Number one is clear HR structure and operating model, right? Is there a clearly defined HR department and HR group within your firm? And then are there also teams like employee experience teams or talent teams or subgroups? And how are they working together? I was just at a firm where they have an employee experience group. This is a cross-functional group that has representation from multiple offices, multiple levels, multiple departments within the firm. And that group meets regularly to talk about employee experience, maybe things that the employees could do to improve their experience, maybe some things the firms could help assist with, or maybe evolve to make the experience for employees even better. But how that group works with HR leaders and the HR department is closely aligned. And so I thought that was a really good trend to start off with, that yes, I see how the HR groups and kind of subgroups within a firm should be working closely together there. So we see firms doing that already. Number two, continuous coaching, career management, and performance conversations. How can we have in our firms performance conversations to be less of an event and more of a culture? All right. What does the cadence of performance conversations look like in your organization? Is this something that happens once a year, and then there's a lot of angst and anxiety around that conversation, and really it's not as high quality as it could be because something that happened 11 months ago is now coming up or isn't coming up in a performance conversation when it should or shouldn't be? How do we make it monthly, quarterly? What does that look like? And how do we digitize some of this? So maybe monthly there's one question surveys going out to, your team as it relates to performance, but then you're meeting monthly around larger goals, or quarterly, putting together quarterly game plans. And how does that support the overall firm strategic plan, things of that sort? But that's that continuous coaching performance conversation for trend 2. All right. Trend 3, heavy continuous investment in management and leadership development. If you're a leader of a firm out there, maybe you're a partner, I know you and your firm invests a lot in your staff. Okay. I know that. I've probably been in your firm. I know there's a lot of investments happening there. But where is your partner group, your leadership group investing in each other, right? And just because partners are at that level in the firm doesn't mean by default they automatically have the leadership skills they need to be able to build the firm of the future and grow the firm of the future. And I don't say that to knock any current leaders of firms today, but what got you to where you are may not get you to where you want to be or where your firm needs to be. So that continuous investment at that level in leadership skills is huge. 4, understanding and implementation of agile and design thinking in HR. I know that was a mouthful, but really, how is your HR function? What is their process for creating change in the organization? Are they able to have a strong framework so as new ideas come up? I was actually just speaking with a firm around their benefits, right? And they need kind of the benefits that they are offering their full team. Okay, they're starting to get some questions about it. And we kind of work through a framework that they can use to analyze their benefits, gain feedback, and kind of what's the process they should go through to be able to make some decisions, right? That's an example of this one, is what is the framework your HR department is using to be able to drive change and make changes, okay? Number 5, fair, equitable, unbiased, and transparent pay decisions. How your firm has decided, or historically who gets raises, how those raises are communicated, any compensation adjustments, things of that sort. The strategy you used in the past may not be the strategy you use going into the future, right? It is so common for me to hear firms, well, I got a bonus or I got a raise, but I don't know why. I don't know how it was factored in. I don't know if I got the maximum that I was eligible for. I don't know if I got the minimum. There's still a lot of questions around pay and how do we increase the transparency there. All right, number 6, employee learning available in the flow of work through experiential and peer-based learning. Okay, again, learning and your team learning more skills and things of that sort. How do we make it more of an experience and more peer-based? Okay, honestly, that's one of the reasons why we created our circles and why they continue to grow. Our circles are peer groups for different functional areas within accounting firms, right? We got one for managing partners, operational leaders, technology leaders, growth leaders, HR, learning and development, process, and the list goes on. But people want more than just attending a class or attending, a webinar. They want to sit down in a facilitated setting with peers around the globe, around the country, that are in roles similar to theirs to learn what's going on in your organization. What are you doing that maybe I could be doing? Or what can I share with you that would be beneficial to you? That's that experience and that peer-based piece. Give opportunities to your team for that. All right. Number 9, clear data governance across HR, IT, and finance, and well-managed employee and workplace data. How do we gain more data? And your firm probably has it. But how do we use that data to make smarter HR decisions or to help drive the types of initiatives that we want to drive? How do we leverage data? There's all this talk of leveraging data in the firm. And sometimes we think about it just in maybe some of the traditional areas of tax, audit, or even CAS. But really, there are functional areas within your firm like HR and operations that if you were able to better access the data that exists in your organization, you'd be able to maybe roll out more compelling policies or prioritize where you're going to be putting your HR team's efforts into. All right. And then number 10 is highly trained and engaged HR business partners embedded as consultants in the business. Who do you need to be working with externally outside the organization to be that sounding board, to be that outside expert that maybe has some experience or knowledge that if shared with you within your context, you'd be able to leverage and apply internally. And I love the word business partners here, right? If you're working externally with someone in the area of HR, they need to be a business partner to you, right? They don't necessarily need to come in and tell you what you need to be doing in the area of HR and talent and performance, but they do need to be able to come in and ask questions and understand your strategy and share with you insights and perspectives of things that are working in other areas. So I know this was fast paced. You're probably driving into work or driving to a meeting or driving back home as you listen to this. But hopefully it was nice to kind of hear concisely or somewhat concisely in 10 minutes or so some top HR and talent trends, and maybe it's got some bubbling ideas in your head. If that's happened, then I consider that a success. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, we release new episodes every Tuesday morning. This episode was focused on the HR component, but next week we may be talking about leadership, technology, process, growth, lots of different areas we cover, but the common theme is every topic we talk about, we believe is critical to your firm's success and its future success. So thanks for listening, and please subscribe.